Hi, this is professional football player Kirk Cousins, and a few years ago, I had LASIK at TLC Laser Eye Centers. TLC made everything easy. The procedure was quick and painless, and they made me feel at home. It's really easy to get started, so schedule your free consultation.
Right now, TLC Laser Eye Centers is offering $1,000 off LASIK when treated in November. That's $500 off per eye. Visit tlcoffer.com. Must mention this promotion and be treated in November of 2023 to qualify. $1,000 off for both eyes on standard wave-light price. $500 off for one eye. Cannot be combined with any other offers. See details at tlcoffer.com.
Radio you can touch.
That can only mean one thing.
This is the Bob and Jeff Show.
You seem to know all the players in this poorly acted farce. What do they call that one?
Bob Lutz.
I've known you your entire life. There's no one who knows less about football.
Jeff Lutz.
I think every bowl game from now on should be named after something you can put in a bowl, like raisins. The Orange Bowl's fine. Sugar Bowl's okay, but no Tax Slayer Bowl. You can't put that in a bowl. You can envision a bowl of raisins.
Call yourself a man. I weep for you.
97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Apparently the punishment has been handed down in a story I've found not one bit compelling at all, yet it's dominated coverage. What is it with Jim Harbaugh?
Phony.
I couldn't care less. He's not going to be permitted on the sideline for any of the next 3 Michigan games, starting with tomorrow's game against Penn State, and that obviously includes their season finale, regular season finale, against Ohio State. That's the punishment. So there you go.
From the Big Ten.
Good for Jim Harbaugh. Well, that'll be the extent of it.
You don't think the NCAA is going to drop the hammer?
No, they're like me. They're sick of it.
No, the NCAA is going to do something.
Not really.
They will.
They might fine him.
Oh, that's something.
But nothing of note. Nothing that matters. This doesn't matter. He'll still be coaching the team. He'll just be in the press box doing
Maybe he'll be giving the signals from the crowd.
Not funny.
Pretty funny.
Not good. That's a late Friday. You're tired. You're tired of being here.
How am I tired?
You're mailing it in. That's a late Friday mail-in.
I think it was pretty good for a Friday.
It's hard. The last hour of this show on the week is a challenge. That's why you see me ramp it up each and every week.
Is that what I see?
That's why you see that.
Oh, I didn't even know.
And that's why the listeners obviously pick up on that.
Well, ramp it up then.
Well, I have been. I'm ramped up.
Good, let's go.
I know what I'm doing. I'm going to run a show here, and it's going to be the best show I can possibly put out there.
I'm happy to hear that.
What do you got?
Nothing.
Give me something. Give me something. Don't just depend on me being the stirrer of every drink that's popped in front of me.
That's not even true. You bring up topics sometimes, but I carry them to the finish line. Let's be real honest about our roles here.
Jeff, I'm going to be as honest as I can
Let's
possibly
be. As honest, yeah.
I could bring in my next-door neighbor.
Oh, please.
No, he's a good guy.
Then I'll stop.
He's a good guy.
This show would be god-awful.
My next-door neighbor.
With really anyone else.
Would be fantastic.
Then do it.
If he decided he wanted to do the show.
What's your next door neighbor's name?
Trust me, I've asked. Bill.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Bill what?
Bill Harwood.
Bill Harwood. Okay.
Bill Harwood.
Okay. Bill Harwood.
But no, Bill Harwood.
Okay. Harwood. You didn't sound like you made that up at all.
No, his name's Bill Harwood.
Well, then go ask him. No, it's not, is it?
Yes.
You made that up.
How could I make that up?
Because people make stuff up?
His name's Bill Harwood.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
I'm going to look him up.
You're looking up Bill Harwood.
I absolutely am.
What are you looking? What are you typing in?
I'm not going to tell you that. I don't want people to figure out my secrets or be able to look for Billy Harwood.
Well, I would hope that you can't just type in a name and learn much about that person. That would be my hope.
As far as I know, there doesn't appear to be a Bill Harwood in Wichita.
Well, I'm sorry that maybe it's William.
Oh, I typed William. Bill Harwood. Here he is. There's Billy Harwood.
I've never known him as Billy.
You've never known. Is that him right there?
No, sir.
Well, that's too bad.
That's not him. So I don't know. I don't know what you. Why are you worried about this?
Because I just don't think you're telling the truth.
Well, how would I? What would I have to gain from not telling?
What would
the
you
truth?
have to lose? Nothing. It's not like someone's going to say, "Oh, that Bob, no credibility. He was messing with his son the other day and made up a fake name."
Well, but it's not.
Okay. I don't believe you at all, but that's fine. It's we're at a standstill here.
Well, I don't know. Again, I don't know what I'd have to, what I would be doing to further my agenda by not telling the truth.
You're just messing with me.
Well, I don't mess with you that often.
Is Jim and Marvin Luter the other side of the?
Who?
That's a Chris Jericho joke. When he
Not funny.
When he made up a name, Jim and Marvin Luter.
Not funny. And Bill's a nice guy.
I'm sure he is.
He is.
Well, that's
and he'd do
beautiful.
wonderfully on this show if it came to be.
I doubt he wants his full name out there.
Bill Harwood. He doesn't mind.
He doesn't? You've asked him? That's good.
No.
Well, Bill, if you're listening, we'd love to have you call in, see what you can maybe bring to the table. He's probably listening. You know him so well.
Well, he has listened to the show, but I don't know if he's a daily listener. And I don't talk to Bill that often. But I do know that we've talked about this show occasionally. And it's not like we're talking over the backyard fence.
I don't know.
He's an active guy. I'm an active guy. We don't have a lot of time to talk about trivialities.
So people know who you are. They don't really know who I am. But then they find out who I am, basically based on my last name. And then, it's like me just doing a show with you. And then they say stuff. I had our roofer. He said he's figured out who I was. And then it was like, I don't know what I was doing. This is the dumbest story ever. Let's move on.
No, finish it
I don't even remember.
The roofer did what?
He said I don't even know what I said. It was last Friday, and I was going to work because it was in the afternoon. I worked nights, and I was like, yeah, I'm a little late or something. I don't even know what I was saying. Oh, Bob's going to make fun of you for that. And I get that a lot.
Well, that's because this show has gained an identity.
He's going to get on you for that.
Yeah, they love it when I get on.
See you, roofer. Have a good day.
The people love that.
Do they?
I can't tell you how many people tell me that I need to get after Jeff.
Well, those people are misguided.
That'll be fun to hear you chastise your boy today.
Well, maybe so. I don't know.
Well, it's connected with the audience. What can I say?
It very much has.
Nobody says, boy, Jeff's really going to get after that old man today.
I do. They know. They get it.
Here is Brent Hobson. We are happy to have him join the show. Women's soccer coach at Friends University. Brent, welcome.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
So you got a big weekend. Tell us about it and what Friends Soccer is trying to accomplish.
Yeah, tomorrow we play in the championship game of the KCAC tournament. That'll be at 4 p.m. at Stryker against Oklahoma Wesleyan, top 25 team in the nation for NAI women's soccer. Number 1 seed versus the number 2 seed, so it should be a good competitive match.
So you're already in the national tournament. What was it like last night, late in overtime, when you got the game-winning goal?
Oh, it's, postseason soccer stressful at times, but, we have a really good team this year, and I was definitely confident in the group. We knew set pieces were going to be crucial in the game, and, Gianna Honda served a good ball into the box, and our captain, Kylie Lewis, put it in the back of the net. So it was a good goal in overtime, and, in overtime soccer, now you have to finish it out. It's not golden goals. So, we did our job and won the game 2-1. So it was a good night for our group.
Talking soccer with Brent Hobson, women's coach at Friends. So my brief assessment is that the KCAC this year was a have-not league. There's a lot of really gaudy records in the KCAC. You have one of them. But then there's some teams that struggled. That's certainly not going to be the case when you play Oklahoma Wesleyan. Your combined records, 21-0-5. That's got to be exciting for your program and your players, I would imagine.
Yeah, for sure. We played them in the regular season this year. Went 1-1 down at their place. I thought it was a very even match for the most part. We scored a really good goal. So a 1-1 match in regular season. We expect a very competitive match tomorrow, and, we're definitely looking forward to it. We play the same formation, so hopefully it matches up well, and it'll be a good game.
So you had 8 players make some level of KCAC All-Conference. What does that mean for your team? Obviously, you have a lot of talent, but are you the type of team that you feel like you can win in a lot of different ways, that any different player maybe on a given night can lead you?
I do. I think, this is my 10th year at Friends University. I think this might be the most balanced team we've ever had. Defensively, we're really good. I think we have some of the best defensive players in the conference. But we've had 10 different goal scorers this year. So that's obviously nice to have as a coach. You have a couple players that are dangerous in the attack. But then our center mids are really good on both sides of the ball. Lauren, Pilar, and Joanna have been crucial in the midfield this year. So, yeah, it's just a well-balanced team for sure.
Talking KCAC soccer with Friends coach Brent Hobson, Oklahoma Wesleyan. Their opponent tomorrow for the KCAC title out at the Stryker Complex. So back on September 2nd, you gave up 3 goals in a loss to Northwestern College of Iowa. Since that time, you've not given up more than 1 goal in any of your matches. You mentioned your defense. I know that we're not pouring a bunch of goals in soccer normally, but that seems highly impressive. A lot of shutouts for the Falcons.
Yeah, and to be fair, on that September 2nd game in Iowa, our goalkeeper got hurt. We actually played the rest of that game without a goalkeeper, so I would imagine that game would have gone a little differently too. But yeah, we got 11 shutouts on the year. I think it's around 16th in the nation, top 20 in the nation in shutouts. So defensively, our girls really work hard, and I think we're very organized defensively, which definitely helps.
How are you looking at the overall national scene and what to expect in the national tournament? Because this is 3 years in a row that you've gone. I'm sure you know what to expect on some level, but how good is NAIA soccer this year, and how do you feel like you stack up among that?
The top 25 NAIA soccer is really good. You've seen some top 25 teams, compete with Division I teams in the spring, compete with Division II teams. So it's going to be competitive. There's 40 teams that make the national tournament. If we get the result tomorrow, that's just going to help our seeding into the national tournament. So there'll be a selection show on Monday. So we'll figure out where we go on Monday. But, yeah, getting a result tomorrow is just going to help our case from a national stage and hopefully getting a better seeding by beating a top 25 team tomorrow.
Well, the game you're playing tomorrow certainly feels like a national tournament game. It's against Oklahoma Wesleyan, 4 o'clock on the pitch out at the Stryker Complex.
There you go.
Brent, best of luck. Thanks for getting on the show to talk about it.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate what you guys do.
Thank you.
All right, there you go. Brent Hobson, how about that? The pitch.
Good job.
I've joked around about soccer in the past.
Well, you joked around. You very adamantly said you don't enjoy it at all.
Listen, I respect. Don't put words in my mouth.
I'm not. Trust me.
Trust me on that. I'm not gonna have that.
Please.
But there's been a lot of 1-0 games that Friends has played, and they've won pretty much all of them. So, good luck tomorrow against Oklahoma Wesleyan.
It's a good club over there they got at Oklahoma Wesleyan.
You don't even know where Oklahoma Wesleyan is.
It's in Oklahoma.
Clueless.
I'm going to say it's in Pryor.
No, it's not in Pryor. Pryor's no.
Well, you act like you knew where it was.
I don't really know where it is. I think I have an idea. I think it's in the. No, I'm not even going to guess.
Well, guess.
No, I'm not going to.
It's a fairly.
I'm going to say it's in the Tulsa area.
I'd have no idea what that means.
Well, I'm going to say it's in the Tulsa area. So that would be my guess about Oklahoma Wesleyan.
Well, I don't know.
But I could be wrong.
I don't believe what I just saw. I don't believe Bartlesville is.
That is in the Tulsa area.
The Tulsa area.
Bartlesville is just north of Tulsa. So, again, Mr. Lutz, Bob.
Yeah, one of us.
Was right.
Congratulations.
Well, I don't understand why you didn't know where Bartlesville.
I don't know where
We drove through Bartlesville when we went to see that Don Henley concert at the casino in Tulsa.
That was fun.
Yeah. So there you go. I've been to Bartlesville a few times in my life, but you know.
Where do you think the population of Bartlesville is?
Bartlesville is a good-sized town. It's probably in the same kind of neighborhood as a Newton would be. I would guess in the 20 to 30,000 range.
37,000.
There you go. Even bigger than Newton.
Yeah.
A big oil town, as, of course, a lot of towns in Oklahoma are.
No question.
We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll talk some high school football with Joanna Chadwick, Vype Magazine. She joins the show next.
This is the Bob and Jeff Show on 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Joanna Chadwick with us from Vype Magazine, and we got a big night of high school football. Joanna, welcome.
Hey, thanks a lot for having me on, guys.
Oh, as always, you know, we're contractually obligated. But even if we weren't, we'd get you on. So let's start in 6A, where there are two highly intriguing games here in the West. Manhattan, I don't know that I ever thought I'd say this. Manhattan seems to have Derby's number, and Wichita East is trying to get revenge for an early season loss as well to Washburn Rural. Can both our local teams pull these through?
I think so, and I think that looking at Wichita East is, you know, they only lost by 1 to Washburn Rural in the season opener. And last week, I don't know, Washburn Rural didn't put up a lot of points. I expected more points. And whereas East, I mean, that was a dominating win that they had against Northwest. So I would think that they seem to be on quite the roll right now, playing with a lot of confidence. They're dangerous because of their physicality and their speed. And I think they kind of can make teams be off their game a little bit. And as for Derby, I mean, you know, this is the fourth time these two teams have played in the past 14 months, and Derby's 0-3 against them. And overtime game in September a year ago. And, you know, I think that they're primed to get a little bit of revenge here, but it's not going to be easy going into Manhattan and winning this game.
So we've been debating kind of, not really, but just differing opinions about the marquee game of the week, especially when we're talking about area schools, games that we care about around here. What would you say is that?
Oh, that's really tough. I mean, I would think Cape and May South has got to be one of those games that we want to be watching. We've already seen the Andale Collegiate game so far earlier in the year. So I'm definitely interested in Cape and May South. What are you guys saying is the best
ding,
game?
Ding, 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 ding.
Okay.
I said Washburn Rural East. I think that's going to be I think East
we've
will,
seen it.
I think East will win. And
it's a great game. Both 6A games are fantastic. But we've seen them both, and we haven't seen May South and Capon for these stakes, and I think they're both really, really good. And I would have trouble picking a winner in this May South Capon game. I'm not even sure what it'll boil down to. I guess the team that makes the final defensive stop. How's that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it is going to come down to that defense because both teams have shown that they've got very strong offenses. They put up a lot of points, to be really honest. And I think that is going to be an interesting aspect, is just who can get that stop. But I'm with Bob on this one. I mean, just the fact that we haven't seen this matchup is what definitely interests me the most.
Another 5A game, Mays and Eisenhower. Last week we talked about Mays, and it was kind of fun. You know, they had just beaten Goddard, and now they've beaten 8-1 Liberal. And Goddard Eisenhower is really good, but Mays is getting people back from injuries, and I wouldn't say Goddard is unstoppable by any stretch. How much of a chance do you give Mays here?
Well, why not Mays? I mean, at this point, why not? They're playing with absolute confidence. They're playing very good football right now. And I think Eisenhower is a team that can be beaten. But at the same time, I mean, it's going to be really tough to go into Eisenhower and get that win. And I don't know. I mean, I think that this one is one that is really, really tough to call.
Joanna, Chadwick, our guest. One of the cool things, and even when we were both at the newspaper, we talked about this occasionally, that it's good to see a program pop up and start to succeed after not doing so, because in high school football, it's so often the same teams year after year. So I'm drawn to 4A a little bit, and I'm very enthused and interested in seeing how Wellington fares up at Wamego. That's a tough test, but I've been impressed with Wellington and their coach Jeremiah Meeks. I think they got a shot.
Well, I think it's really exciting, and I'm just going to agree with everything that you just said about seeing a new team.
Thank you,
but
Joanna.
the last week, you're welcome. But God, that's way too much agreement with you. So Jeff, you got to come strong with your next opinion so we can go against Bob. But
All right.
but the win last week, I think, also has got to give Wellington a lot of momentum to be able to win the way they did with that late score. I think is really impressive, and it shows that you can win in a varying amount of circumstances. But going to Wamego is tough. I mean, that is a program that has popped up that they've done very well, and I think that that's going to be a tough win to get.
So just to talk about the path in 4A, and I know we don't pay as much attention to the eastern half of the state, but I thought it was interesting that Aquinas beat Miege last week. It seemed like Miege is just going to win everything. So does that just mean Aquinas is going to win it all now, or do you think whoever comes out of the West has a shot too?
Well, I think that both teams have a shot. I mean, or both, whether it's East or West, I think they have a shot. But, you know, Aquinas has a heck of a coach. You know, we all know Randy Dryling very, very well. So I'm not surprised that them dropping down into 4A creates an opportunity to upend Miege. But it doesn't bode well for any other teams that trying to knock Aquinas out.
No, that's a tough one. Let's dip into 3A. You mentioned the rematch. I think we're all holding our breath, maybe hoping for the Cheney-Andale rematch next week, except they're not hoping for that at Collegiate or Clay Center. Can Collegiate go to Andale? And from what we hear, Andale's a little bit beaten up, especially in their quarterback position. Thoughts?
I don't know. I mean, at this time of year, you know, so many different things can certainly happen. And one thing that Collegiate definitely has been able to do is they've been able to move the ball. And but so has Andale. I mean, again, I think that we're seeing that even though Andale only has that one loss, I think that teams that face them have got to feel like this is a year we do have a chance. So why not take that confidence and then go out there and take it to them? Because if Andale does end up having some issues with getting that ball into the end zone, teams only gain confidence as you go forward into that game. So I still have a hard time picking against Andale in this game, though.
Yeah, Andale Cheney could be a different story if that happens, but I'm with you about Andale. It's weird because they were even up big in that Cheney game and hadn't really been challenged at any other time, but it does seem like the bulletproof nature of Andale is not quite as strong this year. Is that unfair?
No, I don't think so. But I think that you also have to look at, okay, this is going to be your year to get them, because next year they've got a very young team. And so next year you're going to be dealing with guys who now have a year under their belt and coming through that program with the expectations that they do have and the success that they have had. So you might want to get your punches in now.
Joanna Chadwick with us. I'll just give you another thought that you'll most likely agree with, and that'll be number 3. But I don't know the last time we've seen Andale play with a little bit of a chip on its shoulder. Now they're always good, obviously, but now you're hearing people say, well, what if, and maybe this and maybe that, and I think that probably feeds into the Andale narrative being even stronger. That's just my opinion. I would predict tonight's game to be a 35-17 Andale victory over Wichita Collegiate. But we'll see. That's why they play the game.
That's right.
Jeff, give her one more thought.
Well, we haven't talked about the other 4A game, Wellington, Andover Central. We talked about Andale being kind of slightly under the radar this year. Those teams seem like they're really under the radar. McPherson and Andover Central, sorry. Those teams seem really under the radar, but yet one of them will be playing for a chance at the state championship. So how do you feel about those two ball clubs?
One of them might not be playing for the chance, but other than that, the question's good. What do you?
No, one of them will be playing for the
Western.
I have a really good answer,
for a chance to play with the state.
I have a really good answer. Can you two be quiet? Thank you. Okay.
Yeah.
So here's the thing, is that you're looking at both of those teams that have absolutely been under the radar, and the reason why is those early season losses. If I remember right, Andover Central lost a couple straight, and McPherson may have as well. So to come on as strong as they both have, especially McPherson, I think is what has impressed me the most, is I feel like they've come out of a little bit more out of more unexpectedly than I thought Andover Central, and maybe that's just because I watch Andover Central a little bit more. I'm not sure. But both of these teams, those early season losses, boy, that teaches you a lot at that moment. And I'm just really impressed with what both of them have done to get to this point.
Yeah, Andover Central lost 3 games in a row. So
3,
they've righted the ship.
There you go.
They've righted the ship since
that's
then.
That's really impressive. Yep. I agree with you on that. That's 3-0. Okay, moving on.
Agree with me again. It's becoming.
I thought I brought that up. Now you're agreeing with Bob on it doesn't make any sense.
So you're out watching one of your sons play basketball. Does that mean you will not be at a football game this evening? And how are we supposed to survive that on Twitter or X?
Yeah, it's still Twitter to me, Bob. I mean, let's just not even call it X. Yeah, I'm actually up in Lawrence at Haskell. My son, St. Mary, they just played, and it was really fun watching him play. We surprised him. So, yeah, I'll be watching it like everybody else, either on NFHS or just on Twitter. So I will have my scores list up and my recap, I promise.
Well, it's going to be a whale of a night. I can't wait. Lots of very interesting and good games. Do you kind of miss being in the not that you're not in the fray, but you know what I mean. For many years at the Wichita Eagle,
I know.
You were the lead high school beat reporter. Do you kind of have a pang for that once in a while, especially on a night like tonight?
I do. I mean, I think what is the toughest part is that, you know, I felt like I knew everything that was going on. And I think that's one of the toughest parts is that. Well,
it's good to feel that way.
It is good to feel that way when you do. Shut up. Anyway, but no, I do. I mean, I love being in that press box. I don't miss the, doing the preseason basketball stuff at the same time as, you're doing all league at the same time you're doing postseason football. But it is so much fun to just be in the middle of high school sports.
Joanna, we always appreciate it. Safe travels. We'll talk to you next week.
Hey, thanks so much for having me on, guys.
Thanks. All right, Joanna Chadwick, Vype Magazine. You can follow her on Twitter. You can follow Catch It Kansas, although you guys don't put the scores up.
We have the scores on our website.
Well, listen, I'm not going to get on a website when I got my phone in front of me. and that's how I want to follow games.
Oh, that's great. You can catch at Kansas on your phone, believe it or not.
I don't do that.
It's a very phone-friendly site. You can just
there's
scroll.
no question it's a phone-friendly site.
And you don't have to. You can just find any score you want. You don't have to scroll and search. It's just right there.
Scroll and search.
Well, that's a bad decision.
And we'll be doing that tonight as we enjoy some high school football around the state of Kansas. All right, Shea West is with us. Tribal Roots, their performance coming up tomorrow here in Wichita. Hello, Shea. You're on our show here, the Bob and Jeff Show. 5 questions. Welcome.
How's it going?
It's going okay. So you're going to educate this old man and the younger man sitting next to me. Let's hear the musical intro first, Max. All right. My first question is just to tell us about Tribal Roots, what it is, when it started, the concept, how you got involved. Take us behind the curtain.
Well, let's see. It happened years ago, just a bunch of friends and I. It kind of started from Burning Man and going there, and then it just kind of sparked our creativity. We started going to all these burns, regional and Burning Man. We got a camp called Treehouse Camp. We'd raise this DJ booth in the air and create all these art projects, and kind of just stemmed from that. And we kind of came together, put the group together. Everybody's like, you guys should start throwing parties besides just burns and all that. And we were like, yeah, that's a good idea. Started doing Final Fridays, had the food truck, Cotton Cravings. It kind of just led to a warehouse, and now this is what we do. We kind of just build large-scale art projects, bring in DJs, comedians, anything art-related. So that's kind of our thing, just creative as you can get.
Yeah, like we said, this is definitely an education for us. So what is the message that you're trying to put out there? Or is it just a place for people to express their art and express themselves?
Yep, just basically a place for people to express their art and themselves in any kind of form. We kind of just hope that what we do sparks creativity in other people, and that flow just keeps going and trickling down.
Shea West with us from Tribal Roots. We're doing 5 questions. So your background, what are you? Are you a comedian? Where's your creativity stem from?
You know what? I never looked at myself as an artist. Started going to Burning Man. It kind of just sparked creative side, and I just got into a little bit of everything. CNC work. I like pyro. I really got into sound. Sound is where I headed with it all out of the group. We imported a sound system from the UK about 4 years ago. Ended up being recognized as one of the best sound systems in the country, and my partners, we all just travel the country on our off season and do sound and production for all these festivals around the country. We closed down Tribal Roots at our warehouse from May to October for festival season, and we travel, and then we fire back up October to basically the beginning of May, and then we fill in festivals in between. We throw 2 shows a month here, and then we're out of town every other weekend between those.
So I apologize again for the, just learning. I hope I'm not asking dumb questions, but is it like a membership thing? Do people like, hey, I want to be in Tribal Roots, or is it just they show up at events? How do people mostly become involved?
You know what? Tribal Roots itself is an art collective of 6 of us. We're all been friends for a long time. There isn't a membership or a way to be a part of Tribal Roots. That's just our art collective, but anybody can come to our shows. There's no membership or anything. We post the events on Tribal Roots on our Instagram and on our Facebook, and it's open to the public. You just pay the ticket and come check it out.
Shea West, our guest. So, Shea, tell us about the event tomorrow. What's it going to be like? When's it start? What's it going to entail? What's it going to look like? I'm just curious about this because this is new to me.
Yep. You know what? This one's pretty new to us. We've never jumped into comedian shows. So we got with our friend Dan Lane. He kind of introduced us to some people that could kind of pull the people in that scene and help make it happen. We kind of just figured it'd be something for just a little different. Well, we all like laughing, so we wanted to try it out. We have about 5 comedians. It starts at 8, goes until 10. And then during that time, we'll have the comedians, some intermissions. We're going to have a laser light show. We have visuals, going to give a little experience on the sound system for people that don't really get to hear stuff like this. And then at 10, we're going to have an after party, and we have some house music. And then it kind of leads into an after party. It goes until 1:45 a.m. So there's a little bit of everything.
I'm sure there's people. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, people can either buy a ticket to just the comedian show, or just the after party, or you can buy a ticket to both. And I think it's like 10 online, 15 at the door for the comedian show, or double that for both. I think it's 15 online or 20 at the door.
I'm sure there are people listening who would like to do that. Where do they go to get their tickets, and where is the event?
The event is at 707 South Washington. It's in a warehouse. There's not a lot of signage. It's kind of an underground vibe. We have you'll see a trailer outside and a bunch of cars, but you can go to Tribal Roots Collective on Facebook or Tribal Roots Tribe on Instagram. You could find the event link, and you can buy tickets online, or you could just buy them at the door when you come.
So I love that you said, we're just trying this, because that's kind of what art is, right? Just trying things, seeing what sticks a little bit, being able to do different types of things. What else are you looking to do other types of events? You do so much, obviously, but is there another realm of art and or entertainment that you'd like to get into?
We don't have anything on our radar right now. We kind of basically just sticking to shows. We're going to try this out, kind of give it a feel. We know the Looney Bin isn't around, so we felt like maybe it's a good time to host a comedian show. But we don't have any plans for anything else. We kind of just, if it comes our way or crosses paths or an idea pops up and it works for us all, we kind of go for it.
All right, Shay. Well, we've reached that time. I don't know if Jeff explained what 5 questions is, but you get to ask us a question, and I can't imagine you have any curiosity at all about us. But here we go.
Well, first of all, how'd you guys get into your line of work to begin with? Is it something you love to do?
Well, I was a journalist for more than 40 years, and now I've been a radio guy for more than 20 years. So this was kind of my calling, the media stuff, and that's kind of what I was put on the earth to do, I think.
I don't really know what I was put on earth to do, but I definitely stumbled into the radio gig, doing it with my father. I guess that's something. And here we are, 8 years later.
You like sports, Shay?
Yes, I do. I've been into extreme sports my whole life. I don't know if you know, but I was into BMX. I went to the World Championships, gotten introduced into the BMX, the Kansas BMX Hall of Fame. I was number 4 in the country for a while, so sports is my thing.
Wow,
that's awesome.
So yeah, I did not know that, but that's interesting to know. You got a lot of different irons in the fire over your lifetime. It sounds like.
I try. Are you guys going to make it out to the show on Saturday? You guys should.
I'm 68 years old. No.
we're a little scared of that stuff.
Yeah, I would. As I told Jeff earlier, had I heard of something like this when I was 30, especially the after party and dance, because that's what I live for, Shay. But it's probably not going to happen tomorrow night. But I hope some of our listeners come out and introduce themselves to you, and we commend you for doing this and look forward to a great event.
Well, I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to kind of get online and talk about this.
Absolutely.
Right. Take
Thank
care,
you.
Shay. Thank you.
Thank you. Take it easy.
There's Shea West.
I enjoyed that a
Well,
lot.
I enjoyed it too, but I've never felt more disconnected from anything. I mean,
There's no need to feel disconnected.
I feel disconnected.
It's just because you're not part of necessarily what they're doing does not mean that they don't have a connection to you.
I'd
They're
go
in the
out there
same
and have a whale of a time.
They're in the same community. They represent us.
I'd go out and have a whale of a time if I'd stop by tomorrow.
I'm glad we got to learn.
You know, if I was your age, I'd go.
Well, I got a play to go to tomorrow, and you'll be there with me.
Well, yeah, but then, you know, maybe they'll do something.
We're having dinner theater.
Yeah, we are. What time's that start?
I'll have to ask 6.
Well, we'll need to get that information.
Well, the kid has most of that. But
Well,
I'll get it.
we'll need you to share that with us so we know where to go, what time to be there.
Well, you're going to the high school, and I'll get you time.
Well, yeah, that's what I want to know.
We're having chicken and waffles.
Really?
Yes.
Well, there you go.
Does that enthuse you at all?
Oh, yeah.
Good.
I'm always enthused. We'll make it work. All right. What's bothering me in my... I'm getting old, and that's just the way it is.
It happens. Better than the alternative.
Thanks to our guests today, John Kirby, Jayhawk Slant, Nick Schmidt, head football coach at Medicine Lodge. They get it going here at 6 o'clock this evening in the 1A playoffs against Blue Rapids Valley Heights. Brent Hobson, the women's soccer coach at Friends. Joanna Chadwick from Vype magazine, and you just heard Shea West, Tribal Roots. Thanks to Max Power back in the studio. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll be back here on Monday.